Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to take a look at the Badger. Yes, the Badger. Now this tank is really a hit and miss tank, and to be honest, I don't like the tank that much. And it's a disappointment. I'm disappointed because before this tank was, as this tank was released, like during testing, I didn't get to test this. I wasn't part of the testing program back then, and every time I come up against it, it was super strong, and it was a tank that I really wanted, and I tried my hardest to get the tank, and it was just always coming back in crates. Every time it came into the game, it was through crates, and it took ages for Wargaming to sell this tank directly for gold or for money. Well, for gold. They don't really sell tier 10 tanks for money. It's more crates and gold. I really wanted it. I really wanted it. I love the camo. I loved how the armor profile was just amazing, and I just really, it was a tank that I really wanted, and I spent so much money trying to get the tank. Then I finally get the tank. I finally, out of all these months trying to get the tank that of my dreams, the tank of my dreams, but it wasn't to be that. In fact, I was left disappointed with this tank. Now, of course, just like a lot of other tanks out there, this is good in certain situations. Now here we're on dead rail, perfect, absolutely perfect, but of course, because there was a tank capping B, I couldn't just sit there. I had to go and attack that tank, and that took me out of my comfort zone. That took the tank out of its comfort zone. The comfort zone is literally just on a ridgeline, poking that ridgeline and using your gun depression and doing damage, and then you will get a lot of bounces, because this tank hold down is super strong. This tank face hugging, I mean, if you're face hugging something like an E100, yeah, good luck E100, because yeah, I've been in that situation, being in an E100 face hugging something like this. It's hard. It really is hard to penetrate, and to the point some people will just result into shooting HE at you just to do some damage. So of course, in some situations it is really good, but looking at this tank, and then you look at a tank very similar to this, with it being the E3, I just don't understand why I would want to play this tank over the E3. The E3 now is just super strong. It's faster, it seems faster, it's got a nice gun, and it's got just amazing armor. So this has got good armor when you hold down, but the E3 has just got good armor full stop. Only the bottom plate is weak, and sort of the same as this, but I just feel disappointed with the tank, and I know a lot of other people do feel disappointed with the tank. Of course, you can go out there and you can have good battles. I mean, this battle here, first battle of the day, and I do 4k damage and I get an ace, and that's only because I did play it sort of not front line, but I went to go to the middle, and I never ever play this tank. I always play this tank and the E3 very alike, and that's not camping. Yes, they are tank destroyers, but I don't ever camp in these tanks. I don't ever sit at the back of the map like you would a grill or a waffle or something like that. I'm always trying to go front line. I'm always trying to look for a ridge, and if you can look for a ridge, then you might have a good game. But the only downfall with this, it is super slow. It is slow, the traverse is slow, and if you don't hide that hole of yours or the side, you're just going to get absolutely wrecked. And if a medium tank comes to the side of you, yeah, good luck. You're going to be HE'd from behind as well. So yeah, you have to showcase the armor. You have to put that armor to good use, and it's only good when you are on a ridgeline. So of course, a map like mine's absolutely perfect for a tank like a Badger or an E3. So our guy here is going to push forward, and he's actually going to have a really good game. So of course, as soon as he takes a shot, he is backing up, just so he doesn't give any of his hull away. He's only showing the upper plate, which is super strong. Of course, it can be penetrated from the higher tanks like a Jaegeru or a Hori or stuff like that. Of course, the front plate can be penned, the either side of your gun, but those with like the E100s, IS-7s and medium tanks, they can't pen. They pretty much can't pen your hull. They can only pen the bottom of your hull. And that's why I'm saying face hugging is really super strong, because the top hasn't really got any weak points at the top, like any hatches or anything like that, which is a bonus. I just think that if Wargaming made this tank a little bit quicker, maybe the traverse a little bit quicker, then I honestly would probably love this tank. I would absolutely love this tank. But for me, it just struggles in most situations. And the only time it doesn't struggle is when you are sitting on a ridgeline. Now, that Jaegeru there, yeah, he's trying to side scrape, and not being funny, he's doing a good job, but he seems to forget that he's got that hatch, that tiny little hatch on top. It is ever so tiny. But when you're not moving and you've got a tank like the Badger looking at you, of course he's going to get that shot, because the accuracy and the aim time is good on this tank. The DPM 3600 is still decent. Of course, there are tank destroyers out there with a little bit better, but still 3700 is decent. It is really good for the DPM, the aim time, the accuracy, and like I said, the armor. Everything is good about the tank except for the speed, and the speed really does make this tank so boring to play. And as I said at the beginning of the video, like, I don't understand why anyone would play this tank if you own an E3. The E3 is much better in pretty much every way. I think the DPM maybe is a bit less, but you can just see the upper plate here. So you're going to look at the Badger, and you're going to see just how strong that upper plate can be. As you can see here, look, he can't penetrate it. Maybe if he switches to APCR, look, there are some little weak points, but not a lot. And you can just tell there, if that Badger was hull down, it's impenetrable. You can't pen it from another Badger at least, but the bottom plate, as you can see, is actually very weak. So yeah, there are some strong parts from the tank, and you can have good battles. Don't get me wrong, you can have good battles. Our guy here is going to have an amazing battle. He's hitting shots that most tanks won't hit, because the accuracy is really good and the aim time is really good, and yeah, the DPM is really good. So our guy here is 6,200 damage, and it's just one tank left alive, but he is quite low hit points, so he doesn't want to just go out in the open. He's going to wait for his STB to take the attention of the 268, and then he's going to push at the same time, and they're just going to isolate this guy. So this guy is going to be put down to a one shot. And now I'm not quite sure what the STB is doing. I think he's just taking the attention. Of course, he's a one shot as well, so he doesn't want to risk just dying for no reason, and he's just going to come here now, and he's going to get the shot, and the T57 takes the kill. So overall, that was a very good game, and you can have good games in the Badger, but it is one of those tanks that I have been left disappointed with, and I know many of you guys are disappointed with the Badger as well. But don't get me wrong, on its day, it can have a good battle. Given it the right map, it can be super strong. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you think of the Badger, and I'll read them. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.